indictment, we can make that available for you afterwards. So as the Attorney General said, this investigation has resulted in the indictment of 4 individuals. Ronald Rawls, 35, of Baltimore City, Corey Frazier, 37, of Howard County, and 2 additional defendants who have not yet been apprehended, so we're not going to release their names at this time, but both of whom are from Baltimore County. As a reminder, an indictment is merely an accusation of wrongdoing and not a statement of guilt. The defendants are all presumed innocent unless and until the state proves them guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. The defendants are members of a criminal enterprise that has been operating since at least February 2023 and was engaged in a pattern of organized criminal activity, including the distribution of large quantities of fentanyl and cocaine and the illegal possession of firearms. Ronald Rawls and Corey Frazier were higher-level members of the organization and operated as suppliers of the drugs and firearms. They provided bulk quantities of fentanyl and cocaine to mid-level suppliers and street-level drug shops. The other 2 defendants were mid-level suppliers and members of the organization who received the drugs from Frazier and Rawls and would then repackage them for street-level distribution. Each of the defendants is charged with conspiracy, participation in a criminal organization, use of firearms in connection with drug trafficking, volume dealer, distribution or possession with the intent to distribute of fentanyl and or cocaine, and other related charges. One of the drug shops supplied by this organization was located near the intersection of Cranston Avenue and North Woodington Road in Baltimore City, where numerous individuals would conduct hand-to-hand drug transactions on a daily basis. The defendants maintained multiple stash locations for the storage, packaging, and purchase of and sale of bulk quantities of narcotics. These stash locations included several luxury apartments in Baltimore City, which were leased in other individuals' names. Members and associates of this enterprise rented properties and titled vehicles and real property in names of other people in order to disguise their association with the enterprise's criminal activity and to avoid detection by law enforcement. During the investigation, law enforcement observed the defendants at various stash locations in the Cranston Avenue drug shop in Baltimore City. Rawls and Frazier were frequently observed carrying bags or suitcases to or from the stash locations and drug shop. All 4 defendants possessed or transported firearms in connection with their drug trafficking activities, and all of the defendants, as the Attorney General said, are prohibited from possessing firearms based on prior criminal convictions. Frazier is prohibited based on a prior conviction for second-degree murder, a crime of violence, as well as a prior conviction for a drug felony. Rawls is prohibited based on a prior conviction for a drug felony as well, and the other 2 defendants are, one is possessed based on a prior crime of violence, and one is prohibited based on a prior drug felony. The organization also maintained a storage locker in Baltimore County that was used for the storage of firearms, magazines, other gun accessories, as well as a kilo press, which is used to repress large quantities of drugs to make it easier to transport and store. Between July 24th and July 25th, 2023, 7 search warrants were executed in connection with this investigation. At Corey Frazier's apartment in Annapolis Junction, Howard County, there were 7.4 grams of fentanyl, a drug ledger, approximately $39,000 in cash, and a handgun. At Ronald Rawls' residence in Baltimore City, law enforcement recovered approximately $63,000 in cash, a ledger, multiple cell phones, and a handgun. Rawls was present at the location at the time of the search warrant and attempted to flee from police by jumping from the 8th floor balcony of his apartment, causing himself significant injuries and requiring hospitalization. At a stash location on East Fort Avenue in Baltimore City, the criminal organization possessed approximately 4 kilograms of fentanyl, cutting agents, paraphernalia, including digital scales, and 8 firearms, including 2 AK-style assault weapons and 6 handguns. 3 of those handguns were equipped with Glock switches, which, as the Attorney General told you, essentially convert the handgun into a machine gun. At a stash location on East Saratoga Street in Baltimore City, the criminal organization possessed an additional 3.5 kilograms of fentanyl and 3 kilograms of cocaine, as well as paraphernalia, including digital scales, and approximately $7,000 in cash. At the storage locker in Baltimore County, the criminal organization possessed over $100,000 in cash, 25 firearms, many that you see here, several high-capacity magazines, bulletproof body armor, and approximately 1,000 rounds of assorted caliber ammunition. The firearms included a Tech-9 assault pistol and 3 AR-15 style rifles, 2 of which were privately made, untraceable ghost guns with no serial numbers. An additional 1,297 grams of fentanyl mixture, $27,000 in cash, and 2 handguns were recovered from the homes of the 2 other defendants. Rawls and Frazier are being held without bail and are set for an initial appearance this Wednesday, October 4th, in the Circuit Court for Howard County. Law enforcement continues to seek the whereabouts of the 2 other defendants, at which time their indictments will be unsealed.